Hey there, Merca. I'm TRISTA4PREZ 2028 if we have elections, and if you're a Trump humper, keep scrolling, arsehole. Comments are closed. Are you gone yet? Okay, no. This is a very urgent matter. Please hit the share and like button, follow, before they take this down. They've been censoring me. Talk about censorship. Nobody can talk about how these were obviously stolen and rigged elections. I'm an Oxford, Berkeley, Taipei Medical University award-winning scholar, researcher, alumni scholar in political science, and Midas Touch producer. Smash that like, follow. And I was following this race very, very carefully, watching all the A-plus pollsters. I know enough to know that they flooded the zone with fake Republican pollsters to skew the poll results and make it so that it seems like Diaper Douche Fire was more popular than he was. If you may have remember how he was crowd chasing. He went to California and he stranded thousands of people, remember, because he didn't want people to leave during his hate rallies. And everybody should be aware that after every one of his hate rallies, violent crimes went up 300%. Talk about agents of chaos. And you may recall that Kamala Harris got 100,000 people to show up on the mall in Washington, D.C. And everybody knows that Diaper Douche Fire has been lying about his crowd sizes since the first inauguration. Everybody knows that his hate rallies were only getting like half-empty stadiums. So anyway, we've got to demand a recount. Demand a recount. Call the White House. Call Congress. Call Kamala Harris campaign. Call the Justice Department. It was obviously rigged and stolen. Duh. And the media is not covering this, but everybody needs to go check out gregpalast.com, a BBC investigative reporter who's been covering how the GOP has been stealing and purging in our votes, disenfranchising millions of people. So that's probably where the 15 to 20 million missing ballots went. Didn't you see how Texas Governor Greg Abbott purged over 1 million voters in Texas alone? And then also Georgia Secretary of State Kemp, he had to be sued by Greg Palast to show what he was doing. He was cross-checking. It's called cross-checking. They've developed all kinds of ways. They used to use caging lists, and they're still doing that. So anyone now can contest an unlimited number of anybody's ballots or right to vote. There was one GOP chair who had submitted a spreadsheet of over 35,000 people whose vote she was contesting, and these people were not notified, so they had no idea when they went to the polls on election day that they had been deprived of their right to vote. I have filed with the Justice Department a legal complaint into this. We must demand a recount and forensic investigations into what happened to all those votes. Millions of votes were thrown out. 1.7 million provisional ballots alone were thrown out. Tag Kamala Harris in the comments below and share information. Call them up and ask them, why did you concede when less than 2/3 of the votes had been counted yet? And they're still counting them, and even though they still haven't truly been counted, but it's under 1% difference now. That's the difference. So we must call for a recount. I, for one, object, and I do not want to have to flee the country because of the impending doom and persecution, because I'm hopefully #1 gadfly for old Diaper Dumpster Fire. I've been calling for him to be locked up, and also the insurrectionists in Congress. 200 of them need to be locked up for insurrection and not ruining the country. And I have called out Marshmallow Merrick Garland and demanded he resign. Also, I'm calling for President Biden to resign and let us have President Kamala Harris so she can clean up this mess, this man-made mess. Marshmallow Merrick Garland had 4 years to prosecute these people, and he utterly failed us. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he's a Federalist Society member. But Elon Musk also needs to be investigated for election fraud and election interference, because in the Get Out the Votes operation that he did in swing states for douche fire, He was misleading people into thinking they were signing up to vote when they were not online. It's fraud. How many people were deprived of their votes because of Elon Musk's interference? He threw over $200 million at diaper dumpster fire. Isn't that a violation of the campaign finance law? Also, diaper dumpster fire is a felon, and in Florida, felons cannot hold office. So I urge everybody to write letters to the editor, Miami Herald. The fight has only just begun, and if we allow him to be sworn in, which is a violation of the U.S. Constitution, 14th Amendment, Section 3, we are certainly toast. He's going to be rounding up millions of people, putting homeless people into concentration camps, and everybody knows about Project 2025, or if you don't, you should look into it, because it's a disaster, and it doesn't have to be like this. Come on, America. Kamala Harris won. We won. Frankly, we did win. And now we've got to fight like hell, or we won't have a country. He said he's going to terminate the Constitution, and he lied about the immigration problem and the economy, by the way. The economy is doing great. And there's no problem at the border. That's just purely fear-mongering to incite hatred against the other and against immigrants, and to hoodwink us, cheat and trick us into voting for him because of fear for our own security. So we got fooled again, America. Now what are you going to do about it? I suggest you make some free phone calls to save your democracy, America. Call all three branches of government, Congress, DOJ, White House. Demand a recount. Demand investigations. Demand that election fraud is seriously considered. Why is everybody just rolling over and playing dead? I don't get it. All I know is that I'm being censored, and that everything I do is always taken down on TikTok, and they don't want us to launch any kind of resistance to these obviously rigged and stolen elections. Are you going to let them get away with it, America? I hope not. I'm Trista for President 2028 if we have elections, and I approve this message. Come on, do something. Oh, I forgot to mention that Joe Rogan, if you didn't catch it, said that 4 hours before the results, Elon Musk told him that Starlink, a special app that he created, he said that Trump won and I'm going home. And so how did he know for sure? Obviously, he had some way to alter results and access to the Starlink. And guess what? The results were uploaded through Starlink. So he obviously did something to interfere with our elections. Please, America, stand up. Keep your eyes on the prize. He should be going to prison right now, along with 200 insurrectionists in Congress, not planning to be sworn in again and ruin the country. Please like, share, and make a comment to help me change the algorithm and support my work.